My name is Farida Rwanda, a member to the Global Refugee Youth Network, GRYN. Global Refugee Youth Network is a refugee youth-led organization that facilitates and supports young refugees to develop their capacity and to help each other lead initiatives to respond to their community's needs and advocate for the change they feel are important. And I am the Gender and Diversity Coordinator. Today's topic is on mental health and well-being for all young people and children as a global priority. And it is important to acknowledge that everyone goes through hard times, and sometimes your mental health and well-being might not feel as good as you'd like it to. Knowing what can help during these times can make a big difference. What is mental health and well-being? We all have a mental health. It is a treasure, something to look after so we can lead our best and most fulfilling lives. The World Health Organization defines well-being as a state in which every individual realizes their own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and are able to make a contribution to their communities. 1 in 5 children and young people experience a mental illness or addiction each year. And it's important to remember that with the right information and support, many people can and do recover. Well-being is not just for people who have not experienced mental illness. It's for everyone. There are all sorts of ways to help us cope in difficult times. We are encouraging you to reconnect with the people and places that lift you up. Feeling connected to the people and places that are important to us can make a big difference to our mental health. It is an opportunity to tune with, important to acknowledge that everyone goes through hard time. And sometimes your mental health and well-being might not feel as good as you like it. I would like to invite my colleague Ala to introduce himself and take us through our talks on mental health.
All right, so let's start with a quick round of introduction. If you could just tell us more about your name, where you come from, and where do you live at this moment?
Hi, my name is Motes Yvette, a refugee from Rwanda, but currently based in Uganda, in Shakatu refugee settlement. I'm a sister to 2 and a brother. I have 1 brother and a single mother. I'm in Form 5 and the communication and gender coordinator of the Vision Group, which is based in Shakatu still. And issues concerning gender respecting and the respect that is supposed to be given to different identities is my work at the center. Yeah.
Currently living in Uganda, in Chakatu refugee settlement. I'm single and unfortunately I don't have any relative around, but the people I work with, they are my people and they are my community, they are my family. I'm a social entrepreneur and at the same time I'm a humanitarian. I'm a climate change activist, I'm a permaculturalist and a mushroom scientist. I lead a CBO, it's called the Goddess of Foundation in Uganda. It is working in Buriza and the Bukele zone within Chakatu refugee settlement in Western Uganda. Thank you.
So I have a question for you. Could you please tell us about how you used your unique expertise based on your lived experience to assess the needs in your community on mental health?
The experience that I used to assess the needs in my community, of course, first of all, it was through the interviews, and this way I have to create a safe space. First of all, safe space for the people, because people, they are from different backgrounds, different culture, and have different issues, and as well tribalism within. So what we do is to create a safe space for them, and we conduct an interview one by one. by to get to know the needs. And another one is on focus group discussions, to engage them within the community and discuss with them within the groups on the age brackets, to know in these gender brackets what could be the needs and how does it affect them mentally, and also conduct survey using a different data collection system like COBI, to easily know exactly by using that survey to put in the data and to see how we can be able to understand better on their needs. Thank you.
What is as a victim of gender identity you were faced in the past 2 months? Could you share with us your experience and how you managed to cope with it?
Well, it was in August, found a comment on my report card that I did not expect, and it shook me. And this school where I was studying from, they were expelling me, something I didn't expect. I tried to go to the head teacher and talk to him, asking him why I would be expelled from the school. All he told me was, "Do you think we could expel you with no reason?" But I was like, "Sir, I've never been indisciplined in this school for the past years. Actually, there were 5 years that I was there. How could you just expel me out of the blue and you tell me you have reasons? Could you please tell me why?" So he couldn't tell me at first, but then later, he told me I'm also acting as an indisciplined girl because I was asking him too many questions. And then later, he finally opened out and told me they were suspecting me to be a lesbian and they didn't want any person of that kind in their school. But I told him, "Sir, I am not one. Why would you just suspect me and expel me without my consent? At least you're supposed to hear what comes out of me." All he said was, "You're expelled out of school and that is it. We have nothing else to tell you." So later, I went back home. My mom was pissed. She hated me. She couldn't pay fees for me no more. Because in my community, it is like a total curse. Someone turning out to be a member of the LGBTQ. It's a total curse. So my mama hated me. My friends neglected me. Like I couldn't have my friends no more. The ones who had promised to stay there for me at all costs were now the people that used to talk shit about me every time I pass by. You pass by people and then they start talking about you. You like go, because I tried to look for another school where I could go. But now news had spread. Yvette is a lesbian. Yvette is a lesbian and thing like that. So even when I tried to look for another school, they couldn't let me in because of the comment that was on my report card. When I came back, like when I was in the holidays, I tried my best with the help of my friends, the Division Youth Group, because they were there for me. They stood by my side in everything. And then Auntie Farida, she was also there. She never left my side. So we sat down and planned on talking to the executive members at the local level, because that's all we could do. Yeah. We tried talking to the chairmans around so that they could grant people like that right, because everybody has a right to be who they want to be. Though I am not a member of the LGBTQ, but I support it. Like it's my job because I'm a gender coordinator in our group. So I support whoever comes out to be who they want to be. So when we talk to these executive members, they understood me according to how I try to explain. And then they advised us to go to a local school, our local school, which is called Bujiburi Secondary School. They advised me to go there and maybe I could get a vacancy. So me and my friends, we were 5. we went with posters that were supporting rights, human rights, everybody's rights. Everyone can be who they want to be because it's a right. I could use my body for anything I want because it's mine. So when the head teacher and the teachers in that school saw us at the gate, they called us in and took us to the teacher's office. They asked us what we were doing. We told them what was happening. We told them how I was expelled from my school, how I'm trying to look for a school, but I can't find one just for being accused of being someone I am not. He tried to listen. Yeah, he really tried to understand. And then they let me in. And then even after a few days, like I was in school, because I joined school after 2 months when other students were at school and I was home seated, still fighting, looking for a school. So when I joined, it is now that I'm in class. And then I hear students call me, "Hey, you boy." Hey, I was like, "What?" And somebody's like, "Yes, we know you're a lesbian. So is there anything to hide?" I'm like, "I am not." I try to explain to these people, but then later I realize it's of no importance because people will never understand what you're going through. People never understand who you are. People cannot, I don't know. So, like, it became a nightmare to me. Every time I go to sleep, all I have to think of is the names students are calling me at school. I played it cool and have tried to cope up, though it is still not an easy thing. I have when I'm going somewhere, people call me names. My family hates me because they think I'm the cursed one. My friends can never come to me again because they'll be like, "Oh, how can I be seen walking around with a lesbian?" Of which I'm not. I really don't know what exactly I have to be saying, but just my experience this year has been the worst ever of my life, where even family cannot stand by my side. People I expect to be there for me can never be by my side. Like the community is so judgmental. Community judges
I
you
know.
according to who you know.
Yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, Ivan. I want you to know that you're not the only one that's been in this situation before. I've been into the same exact situation that you went to. I understand how you face hate from your family, from the community, from your school, from everyone for something you're not, but they just like always just judge you just by your looks or by how you wear or act or anything. I want you to know that you're not alone and you have to stay strong and you can overcome this. I promise you need just to be strong and keep going. Do not give up. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It means a lot for us. So the question is, how can other actors working in the same space at the community level can support the work young people are doing at the local level, especially on mental health?
Right. So as we continue to recognize and preserve our mental health, yeah, we are youth in my community. We rise by doing what is best and what is right. Because sometimes you'll find that you yourself, you can't like handle what you're going through unless you have people around you, unless you've joined a certain group that could understand what you're going through. So mental health is not only for people in like who are living with mental illness. Everyone could go through this. Everyone can go through this, and all we need is encouragement, yeah, in the journey of life. Because when you lose hope and maybe sometime get somebody to encourage you, everything becomes fine. Let me talk about myself. I'm going through an illness, like I'm mentally disturbed. especially for what I've gone through. So mental illness does not need somebody to have, like mental health does not need someone to have a mental illness so they can have like mental disturbance and something like that. Because what I went through disorganized my mind, my education, my life, where I could no longer have what I used to call family, where I could not have what I used to call friends. So all we need is support. Anyone who goes through this, we should stand by their side, advise them, give them encouragement, and all that.
And it is caused by different ways, especially like those who feel neglected, trauma, stigma, depression, anxiety, and most of these things are caused due to what people went through or what they go through, and even how the community do see this person, especially what my sister has just said. And my desire or my wish to us who are in this level community, we just need people to hear our voices. We just need them to know that being with refugees, we can also contribute something. Like we need our voice to be heard, because it is a way of when we feel that we are appreciated by what we are doing, it is also of healing. And the mental health also is about being listened to. If they really give us time and they listen, because listening is also a way of allowing the person to share what or how this person feels. So once we are given that opportunity to give us the platform like what Global Youth Network is doing, to allow us to share our ideas or how we feel, and also to let us know that, oh, you guys, you are good enough, you can make it. Because most of the time they think that us being younger readers and being refugees, that we can't do anything, that we are nothing. That is what I could say. I'm so sorry, but that is why for us we see. And through that, of course, it causes mental health to us, because we're also being with that vulnerability, we think that we are not good enough to deliver some stuff. And in reality, that is not true. We've got capacity. We've got capacity to do. So what we need is people to join hands with us, to strengthen us so that regardless of being a refugee, doesn't mean that it is end of the life. You still got a lot of things to accomplish, and through that motivation, it can also help us as younger readers in the community to step in the community. We feel part of the community, and they join us so that we can be able to even change our community. So to me, that's what I can share. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Halima, and I work with Give Directly, and to talk about the mental health, mostly when you try to look, the high population are women, and also even men. I can't refuse also. Mostly of the maybe offices you're going to seek a counseling, they look at you like a refugee woman, and they don't even give you a respect or to ask you what is going on with you. So you see someone is like having a problem of thinking so much, you don't have someone to talk to you, and while you want to talk to someone, you think like no, if I talk to this person, he's going to laugh at me, I can't talk to no. But we no longer waiting for that. We have now opened our eyes. We are in the community talking to our women, especially even I tell them to come and visit home, and we have a chat and have a talk. Even I can tell someone, call me at 2, even if you can call at 11, as long as you tell me your problem, and we share. And you know what all we need, it is empathy. This empathy, it is to come together and at least advise each other, to tell each other what's going on. Mostly me as a refugee woman, I went a lot through, and I've been a part of I'm also seeing a psychiatric, taking medicine, and it is because of the stress I've been having, and I've been keeping quiet, and the stress was like, I'm married by a Christian person and I'm a Muslim, and it was like, why are you married a Christian person? And this is a person that I want in my life. This is what I want. It's person that I choose in my heart. When it goes to relationship, it is what you love. What, you know, the eyes doesn't have curtains, but you have the eyes to look. And now I've come out, like, because I always go to see the doctor, and I've been discussing with my doctor, and I'm like, I always feel ashamed to talk about my problems, to talk what is going through about me. But now I've come out to show other women that everything is possible. There is no anything which it is not possible. And we have to talk to all women, and to support also them. And when I see mostly a woman is going under mental problem, I always like to join that person and talk, to be part of that person, giving courage, showing her that she's still a woman. There is a life ahead, that it is still waiting for us. You know, we know, yes, we have been a refugee, but it is not something that we choose to be. No, it's something has happened, but now at least you feel like there is something going on in the community. You see, like, women are coming up, changing, like coming to tell you, you know, I have such a problem, I have this and this. I can just add, refugee women should be representing in high-level meetings everywhere in the world, because now refugee women, no one who speaks about refugee women. You see people who are not refugee women, they're the one representing refugees. And it's not that we are doing discrimination, but we are not giving the right people their own voice to support, to talk about their own women.
Halima, yes, thank you so much to share about the refugee women to be represented at the high level. But also I'm eager to learn more from Halima, as she's a wife, also she's a mother, she's a community leader. How are you balancing the children, husband, you yourself? How's your well-being? How are you balancing? You are a role model to many young girls out there, and you are my role model too. So I want to learn more how you sometimes you are much in the conferences, meetings. You are a married person, you have beautiful family. How are you balancing all of that so that cannot affect children's mental health, cannot affect your husband's mental health, and also you yourself, your mental health? That's what Alim, I want you to add, so that many of people in the same space like you can cop something from you, and also me. I want to cop something from you because I'm very proud of you.
I have to balance all, because first of all, I'm fighting for the life of other people. I know my children, whether I am going to the conference, the father is there, he's trained to stay with his children, he's enough educated, I know he loves his children, and but I always be in the middle. In the time that I get, I always give them a chance, and I always go to play with them, and I make sure that I always tell them, you know, remember that mom always love you. And wherever I go, I always speak to them. And I have someone also is taking care of them, and also she's a woman, and I always take care of her because she's a mom. She has gone a lot, and I always also advise her, buy for her something she wants. When she's sick, I take her to the hospital. I could not say that she's my mate. She's like my mom. And that is how I'm balancing my work. And every time I'm in the field, you get me, like sometimes I come at 9, sometimes I'm coming at around at 10 at night. Sometimes you see that maybe someone can request me to sleep in the hospital to help someone else who is there. So, and I have to volunteer because I don't know if tomorrow it is me or any parts of any one of my family. Yes.
I'll talk about the climate change. It also includes the mental health, whereby people just cut off trees and they also use the chemicals that affects the environment. And this of course, cutting off down trees and also misusing the land using these chemicals that we buy from different places, they also affect the environment. And this leads to poverty, whereby people cannot produce enough food. And when there is no food, of course, there is no life. And
Exactly.
of course, we need to eat healthy food that is organic and that helps our body to be healthy as well. So poverty, it also part of the mental health. And to my invitation is, if these partners that are into livelihood and other things, they could also engage in sustainability of these projects that are environmental friendly, that are not affecting the land. We have to care for the mother nature, because now if you don't feed the land, don't feed the soil, then you will not get what to eat. And then if you don't get what to eat, then you will end up dying. And the increase of mental health will be high, because you can't even say, you can't do anything when you're hungry, and you cannot be alive when you're not eating healthy food. So on our community level, we call upon the people who would need to join to also engage in climate change, to see how they can join us to save our nature, planting trees, fruit trees, and bring projects that are environmental friendly, that can help the soil to yield, and the soil also gives us healthy food. So it has to be integrated. Save me, I save you. That's what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Mental health, because it is something important to our parents, to our sisters, so that they can know, because most of them, they when you try to look at the communities, most of them, they are there hiding themselves with their own problems. So how can we at least change our communities if that we want them to know about their mental health? So we have to continue talking about the mental health every time. And actually, it should not be only toxic. I really don't like toxic. I like something which it is action, and I see what people are doing.
Thank you. I think, to me, what I could do, my invite is, if there would be option of also to those people that are the NGOs that are into mental health and psychosocial support, not only giving out mental health and psychosocial support, because now if you give me today mental health and now I get relieved, tomorrow I'll be more depressed because I will not be empowered. And if you give only mental health without empowering me, to me, I think is not sustainable. My wish is,
Yes.
if they can, if it could be both hand in hand, by giving me the mental health sessions and also seeing how they can empower me, so that I can get out of the trauma, I can get out of the post-traumatic stress disorders by empowering myself, so that I can also be able to sustain myself, and then I get more strength to share with others about my lifeline, and also see how I can also help them by sharing with them and also empowering them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jean-Pierre. Do you have anything to add to the audience, or do you want to maybe like deliver a message for them?
Sure. So, like, personally, I believe love is everything that we need. So as we're doing all this, stopping the mental health, the trauma, the everything, I think all we need is to give love to the people who are going through this, to give them hope that it's not the end of life. No matter what they're going through, they could still begin afresh and live a great life by conquering all the mental disturbance, mental disease that are disorganizing them. So I would also love to call upon everyone to carry out sensitizations, awarenesses on how you can deal with mental health. Because some people didn't go to school in my community, and some people don't know anything about mental health. But through awareness sessions, people can learn how to deal with it and how to live with it. And I would also love to thank international NGOs like GRYN, yeah, because GRYN is the reason as to why I am here. I would love to call them upon to come up with an action plan that would work and deal with the local levels, all the local organizations and groups, so that they could carry out training sessions, the awareness sessions that could save a life. Because some people don't have, okay, like me, when I have a problem, I usually contact Google or elders, but some people don't even access phones. So through these outreaches, community outreaches, people will get to learn how to deal with mental health. And this will save lives of children, young people, mothers, fathers. It will save a life. And talking about mental health, this it shouldn't seem like something impossible. It is possible. Just like someone would heal physically, they could also heal mentally. It's not that when you're mentally affected, it is the end of the life. If somebody could get a scratch on the skin and it heals, that means anything mental can also heal. So I lastly call upon all the NGOs working with refugee youth organizations to come up with a good plan so that we could see better results, because some people are dying due to mental health. Like people who are not mentally healthy are dying. I've seen people commit suicide in my society because they're mentally affected and they have no one to talk to. They have no one, because they feel like when you talk to somebody, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to start talking about you, calling you names and something like that. So to me, storytelling saves life, and it inspires many people who are in the same situation as me or as anybody else, and it helps them to cope up. Thank you.